On it. Yay, there was a switch on the mic. Now, this is the biggest anticlimax I hope I'm going to give you this evening, but we're not starting yet. This is your 10-minute warning. This is your, if you're a dirty smoker, I judge you for it, but now's your time to go for a pre-show cigarette, chill. The other thing is we've had a couple of people in who are trying to find seats together. If you're sitting somewhere where you don't mind moving and you see people who could do with those seats, it's your choice what you do. But a little encouragement to be nice. We can get more seats from upstairs. We can do whatever. It's all good. It's our house for the evening. You feeling good? Excellent. I'll be back with you in 10 minutes. Hello? Hello! Hello! Welcome! Welcome, everybody! Welcome, everybody! Welcome to the Art House. Can I have a cheer if you're from Southampton? Can I have a cheer if you are west of Southampton? Can I... if you came from west of Southampton? East of Southampton? If you had to think about it? Excellent, you're my kind of people. I love it, I love it. I love this venue, I love comedy, I love what we're going to put on tonight. I've handpicked some of my favorite comedians that I could afford and who weren't at the Fringe. So yeah, thank you all for coming along. I'm trying to think what other things. Housekeeping, there's a toilet around there. We try not to heckle acts in the kind of shows that we do. Feel free to try it, see how it goes. But generally, we go with the principle that people have prepared their acts, they put effort into it, they'd like to tell you their jokes, and the people around you would like to hear their jokes. So we kind of go with that nice, gentle one. I don't think we'll have a problem with that at the Raucous Art House. Drinks, there'll be a break halfway through. Make sure you go and spend lots of money in the bar. I'm very happy to have a drunk crowd. Totally fine by me. But I am going to get your first act on. And your first act is Charlie Bateman.
Hello! Is everyone all right? Are we up for a fun evening together? Can I just check how loud you can be? I'm going to say get to 3, and I just want to check how loud you can be so we can know how loud you're going to be for all the acts, okay? When I get to 3. 1, 2, 3, make some noise! That's it, I know you're all up for it, yes. Please make some noise if you're here just to get away from your kids this evening. I'm with you. I've never wanted kids like the rest of you. I've never wanted kids. Luckily, I have found the one method of birth control that always works. It's foolproof. I exclusively sleep with men. Yeah, so sorry, ladies. I know you're looking at this thinking, well, you know, that is a project. It's just a lot more than you had in mind. I did think I was straight till I was in my 20s. I thought I'd have a traditional life. Find a wife, have kids, get divorced. I had a girlfriend for 3... Can anyone hear the music still going on, by the way? Do you reckon we can stop the music? Do you reckon Jay behind you could go? I can still hear some music, so. It's all right. It's just my musical act is later on. Yeah, I did think I was straight to my 20s. I had a girlfriend for 3 years. We stopped having sex. That's when I knew. Long-term relationships are not for me. I'm dating a younger man at the moment. Yeah. As I get older, I do start to add at the moment. That's experience for you, isn't it? A long-term relationship for gay people is one where you learn their surname. It's a long-distance relationship. That's what happens when you just keep upping the search radius. I had been single for ages, so it feels a little bit like I'm on a government introductory scheme. You can have a boyfriend, but initially just on weekends. There are times I miss him, of course, you know, when I'm lonely or when I have to do the big shop. We would like to get a place together, somewhere equidistant between our 2 homes. Unfortunately, that is a lay-by near Chichester. My boyfriend is a dancer and former gymnast, which is why I look so tired. He is roughly half my depth. If we're lying on a beach together and you approach from the wrong angle, you may not realise he's there. Dating someone fitter than you, though, it does make you look at yourself. Little moment of empathy there. It does, though. It makes you look at yourself and you think, well, if this is what he wants. I said, yeah, thank you very much. She said, you've set the bar low, it's fine. I am trying to be in better shape, I am. I'm still carrying some holiday weight from Christmas 2009. I've found a solution. I've started ordering from one of those companies online, you know, that deliver everything you need in one box. It's called Domino's. I did have to sack my personal trainer, though. When I'm getting sweaty with a man, I don't like to be criticised on technique. At 18, I realised I was ready to make my own way in the world. because my parents sold our house. Turns out when they said they didn't want to live together anymore, they didn't just mean each other. My parents divorced. It was the first time I realized they were fallible. Till then, I thought the only mistake they had made was my brother. Another moment of empathy over there. They broke it to me the traditional way. They said, nothing. My mum, there's lots of empathy going on tonight. My mum just moved into my brother's room when he was away at uni. Of course, I was angry. I wanted those copies of FHM. For a while, my dad would only refer to my mum as that woman. I think he was worried, if he accidentally said her name through reappear. Despite all this, I actually do have a great relationship with my dad because he lives a long way away. We had a traditional upbringing, which meant my brother played traditional sports like rugby and cricket, and I kept a lot of secrets. I still have cold sweats, remembering when I sat him down to have the conversation and tell him I'm into football. We operate a don't ask, don't tell policy. It's a lot like the military, only fewer men in uniform. For him. I've been trying to fit in ever since then. My whole life I've been trying to fit in. And now, finally, I have given up. Fitting in and belonging have slightly different definitions. I don't know if you know that. I'll give you an example. I didn't fit in with the cool kids at school because I belonged to a youth orchestra. I don't understand fashion. I understand fashion the way my dad understands the term woke. It keeps changing. It's all about other people, and what I used to do is wrong. My hair's a mess. I think it suits me, though. The rest of me is a mess as well. So it's pretty clear that I haven't always been this cool. Yes, pause of agreement there. I was the boy in year 7 who carried the briefcase, And a copy of the Fun Day Times. If you don't remember the children's version of the Times, you probably had friends. I look like Jacob Rees-Mogg, the childhood years. My partner and I had totally different experiences of education because he was homeschooled. So I know what an oxbow lake is, but he knows how to talk to his parents. I have never used my knowledge of covalent bonds in adult life, but he still loves climbing trees. His school had 2 students, mine had 2,000, but at least they still keep in touch. Now, though, I'm a musician for a living. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, a job where you're creative, free from ties, have no money. I play the guitar. Any guitarists in? Ooh, yeah, if you play the guitar, it's like me. I'm that guy at parties who gets asked not to bring it. I'm in a folk band. It's called Thinker. You should check it out. If you don't know what a folk band is, it's like a rock band, just with fewer people listening. People always say to me, can you play Oasis? Can you play Ed Sheeran? I'm a professional musician. Can I play Oasis? No. I just don't like it. Yeah, my brother. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, I do play another cool instrument. So any ideas what that might be? Anyone who hasn't seen me do all these jokes before? That's right, no one knows. It's the oboe. It's cool, right? If you don't know what the oboe is, it means that I stand in front of people making this expression. I do realise, without the actual instrument in my hand, that mime does just look a little bit like a hand job is as far as I'll go. FYI, it is not. I have a 1971 VW campus at a middle-aged men with ponytails. I'm pretty rad. I have a flatmate who's a man and a boyfriend who's a man, but I still leave the toilet seat down just to mess with them. My flatmate smokes weed, actually. He says it doesn't make him paranoid, but he's convinced I'm writing jokes about him. So I might need a new flatmate soon. It's always awkward to know when to mention all the stuff about having a boyfriend and all that stuff. You know, when they first message, or wait and see how hot they are. My brother thinks he's cool. He was captain of the rugby team, you know. But I now run 2 Facebook groups about vintage guitars. He has a properly paid job, but I get to lie in most mornings. So who's cool now? Yeah, David. I live in a small town. It's called Lymington. Any big fans? No, none of you are from the west of Southampton. So none of you, did anyone ever visited Lymington? Yeah, I live in a small town. It's great, isn't it? But I am trying to buy a house. By that, I mean I like to look at Rightmove and cry. House prices are crazy, aren't they? House prices are the new Pete Doherty. No matter what happens, they just keep shooting up. My dad's no help. He suggests simple changes, you know, cancel Netflix, stop buying coffee, get a job. He doesn't get it. Who's going to employ him at his age? In the end, though, inheritance, I think, might be my best chance of buying something, which I think's a good thing. It's nice to have a reason to keep in touch. There is one advantage of living in a small town when it comes to dating, you know. If you're on Grindr in Brighton or even Southampton, there are lots of appealing options to choose from. But if you want to hook up in Lymington, you either choose me or have to drive 20 miles into the countryside to meet a farmer in a barn. And let me tell you, I couldn't even find the right farm. There's a debate about teaching of LGBT lifestyles in schools. I don't understand the debate. Either gay people exist, or you are going to have to break it to my boyfriend. I am all for gay conversion therapy, though, because I converted in my 20s and haven't dated a woman since. But I am trying to be more ethical, so I only date free-range men. I just think if you're going to put something in your mouth, it's important that it's led a happy life. Thank you. You've been an absolutely lovely audience. You've got a wonderful evening for you ahead of you, so have a wonderful time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Charlie Bateman, everybody. Off to a brilliant start. Thank you, Charlie, for that. Now, I've got a question for you all. I've embraced my womanhood and taken so long to get dressed today that I forgot to put on shoes. So I have a question for you. I brought 3 pairs of shoes with me. So I'd like to know which ones I should wear. There's the funky motorbike boots that are very protective, not necessarily cool with this dress. I'll call that option A. Option B, very stylish rocket dog, but again, I'm not sure it goes with this dress. Or option C is high heels. The last time I wore them through mud. So you got 3 appealing options. Have a moment to think about which one. We got A, the motorbike boot, B, the rocket dog, C, the heels. Can I have a cheer for A? Oh, we have a loser. We have a definite loser. All right. That's where my phone was kept. Okay, can we have a cheer for B? Okay, a little cheer for B. Can we have a cheer for C? Then what I'm going to do, okay, because tonight I'm hosting you for this part, but I'm also performing like my full set later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear B while I'm hosting, and I'm going to stylishly get changed into C for the actual show, for my actual show. This is the actual, this is the, you're in the right place, you're in the right place. But that means that you got a chance to see if you regret your decision. That's what life's all about. But I'm going to get the next act on now, and the next act is absolutely hilarious. It is Jay Saunders.
Good evening. Right, first things first. Can everybody see the dog? You can. Thank fuck for that, because I thought I was having another psychotic episode. No, that happens to me. You see, I suffer with something called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I see shit that isn't there. Example, I think I'm well-dressed. And when I say I've got PTSD, I mean the real one, not the one trying to claim benefits. Yeah, you know the type I mean? Oh, Daddy wouldn't buy me a PS5. I'm traumatized now. I've got get to fuck. I've got the real beast. There is one thing I don't get, though. Can somebody explain to me why the fuck did they give me a golden retriever doing blackface? It's either he's a black lab or he's a fucking racist. I mean, I am hoping that he's a black lab, but could you imagine it if we could actually keep, racists on leads? I mean, how fucking cool would that be? Because you'd end up saying exactly the same things you do about a badly behaved dog. You'd just be there going, oh, no, I wouldn't let your children play with him. No, no. It's okay, he plays really well with other racists. Relax, there's only 3 people he doesn't like. That's the postman, Liberals, and that Patel family. No, anyway, if he gets too boisterous, don't worry, I'll Muslim. I said Muslim. There's no way you can turn a racist into a Muslim. No, he helps me out with so many parts of my PTSD. I mean, one of the harder parts about my PTSD is I keep on seeing things. Most of the time, you wouldn't know when I'm actually having a flashback and things like that. I mean, some of them are absolutely bloody horrible. Most of the time, I just turn into a zombie. I just brain disengages, and fine, you wouldn't notice. The problem for me is I keep on losing shit. I mean, there was one time, what I do is I black out, put something down, come to, lost it. One time I lost my glasses for 3 weeks, only to find them hanging off the same fucking hook as my soup ladle. It gets worse than that. I'm a boat gypsy that lives in a yacht in Gosport. How often do I make fucking soup? But thankfully, my psychotherapist gave me this brilliant technique to help me find things when I lose them. So what you do is you say out loud the name of the thing you're looking for rhythmically. So, I'll be there going, keys, 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 keys. There are my keys. It's absolutely fantastic. I mentioned this to one of my mates that's also got PTSD. I mean, mate, I've got this technique. Here's how it works. He went, Jay, considering you haven't had sex in so long, why don't you try it on your cock? So I did. I was there going, penis, 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 penis. When I came to, I found myself in the running for the leadership of the Conservative Party. It gets worse. There was one time I tried to find myself a girlfriend by saying the C word for lady parts. I was there going, Boris Johnson is never speaking to me again. But sometimes these flashbacks are really horrible. I mean, they are when I really live those moments of blood, shit, and gore. Effectively, it's like watching Priti Patel's sex tape. God knows why she called it that, but strangely enough, and ironically, it's the least offensive thing she's done in the last 5 years. But yeah, you can, but there are more important things in the world, aren't there? There are more important things in the world than me going through this. I mean, people are stressing massively about the war in the Ukraine, and I know how horrible that is after 23 years in the service, but people, I can make you feel slightly more relaxed. It's not that serious, yeah? You know it's time to panic when they try and put my mental ass back into a uniform again, yeah? The day they try and re-enlist me and put that dog in camouflage, you know you need to rebuild your air raid shelters, yeah? It's that moment of, I know the British military aren't doing too well, but they ain't ready for one man and his dog. So focus on something better. Think about having a nice, loving relationship. Something that I am incapable of doing for many, many reasons. The first of which is the availability of nice ladies. Now, I live in a place called Gosport. If any of you haven't heard of it, that probably means your mum and dad aren't biologically related. It's a very, very shallow gene pool. Honestly, it's the only place where you can open Tinder and you think you're playing Pokemon Go. I mean, the times I've been on the app going, Squirtle, Magikarp, Fruit, I think I'm casting the next bloody episode of Resident Bloody Evil. And then second, have a look at me. I mean, I know I'm not a catch. At my age, I've had to realise I've got a Welsh penis. It's constantly leaking. Now, the only way I'm going to be described as a catch is accompanied by the words chlamydia and syphilis. And the major reason I'm never going to get myself a woman is Hawk. Oh, I know he's gorgeous. I mean, I know you all want to pet him, but that's the problem. He's a far more attractive partner than I'll ever bloody be. I mean, there's this rumour that certain ladies will take a larger, less attractive mate out with them on a night on the town. Yeah, I go out with Hawk. I'm the fat slag. Yeah, you all want to pet him. Yeah, he's a lovely thing to look at. If he gets his lipstick out, you'll just laugh. I do it. I get arrested again. And the worst part is, in the last 12 months, I've been asked 3 times if I'm willing to put him up for stud. Do you lot understand the pain of that for me? This dog has been offered more sex in the last 12 months than I have in the last 4 bloody years. I mean, I'm not only mental now, I'm officially a Labrador's pimp. And yeah, I've tried dating women of my bloody age. And do you know what the most common rejection I get is? I was looking for somebody younger. Turns out women of my age want to be cougars. And okay, I get that. They want something with a few miles left on them. Not this broken down wreck with a very poor service history record. So it turns out if I'm going to get myself a lady now, well, I need to become a toy boy. So I sat down, pulled out the calculator, did the maths, and it turns out that my next girlfriend is currently triple jabbed in a care home somewhere. So I've got 2 options left now. I can either give up on dating, or I become an OA pedo. So if there are ladies of that age that are really into their Werther's originals and can put up with a Labrador's pimp, you've been absolutely fantastic. I'm Jay, and the good-looking one is Hawk.
Excellent, thank you, Jay. I'm going to get next act straight on, but you might notice the change of shoes. Cheer for B, please, thank you. And next up we have Travis.
Hello. Hello. Don't worry, I know what you're thinking. This is not the second coming. You can all relax. No need to look busy, it's fine. Others of you are thinking, bloody hell, Thor's lost a lot more weight than I was expecting. Yeah. And some of you are thinking, oh, where's your big issue, mate? Yeah. Well, joke's on you, because I actually sold out today. So. Thank you. Did everyone enjoy my Eurovision performance in March? Yeah. Good old Sam. Sam Ryder? I hardly even know her. And we're off. Yeah, it's not easy being a long-haired man, though. You get into these situations that are quite awkward, quite hard to get out of. Just the other day, I was down the pub, and I went up to the bar to order a drink. My hair was down, and a gentleman, older gentleman, came up from behind me. Saw the long hair, got the wrong end of the stick, started chatting me up, flirting with me. Yeah, really awkward. Didn't really know how to deal with that awkward situation, so I fucked him. I would have thought he'd have known I was a bloke from the beard and everything, but if anything, he just used it as more leverage, you know, sort of. Oh, get up in there. Still, it's good to see my dad again. I'm kidding. It was my uncle, actually. Yeah. But, you know, it's an awkward one, isn't it? Just having long hair, everyone thinks you're selling the big issue. You're kind of in the same ballpark as ginger people, you know, it's like acceptable to make fun of ginger people these days. And I just think it's time that we moved on, you know, kind of grew up, really. Got any rusties in tonight? Just as well, really. Oh, sorry. Are you all right? Are these lights all right on your skin? Have you got factor 50 on? Just as well, yeah. Instant granulated gravy is cute, isn't it? Oh, Bisto. Thank you. I'd like to try a knock-knock joke now, an old classic. Of course, I am going to need a knock-knock joke buddy to riff off of. Any volunteers? Anyone feeling brave? Yeah? You want to try it? Okay. Here we go. Nice and loud so everyone can hear. Okay, concentrate. I really want this to work. Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
An interrupting cow with bad comic timing.
An interrupting cow
Any other volunteers who might want to do a... Natalie, would you mind? Here we go. We're going to try again. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
An interrupting cow with bad comic timing.
An interrupting cow with bad comic timing. Who?
When it comes to instant granulated gravy, it's so cute. I actually think I'm falling in love. Ah, Bisto. I've had some bad news, everyone, recently. My girlfriend left me. You know, sadder than that. Bisto. Wasn't actually a joke, that was her name. Nah, it was Steve. But it was a bit of a weird one with the breakup. The reason she left me, she actually had a metal hook in place of her missing left hand. And according to her, I was taking the piss out of her disability too much. Yeah, but anyway, I'm from Bishop's Waltham originally. Anyone know Bishop's Waltham? Yeah, big up. Yeah, B-dubs. Yeah. It's kind of, for those that don't know, it's a sort of old, quaint town. Not a lot going on. Very Hot Fuzz vibes about it, if anyone's seen it. I've literally seen a squadron of police cordon off a road so that swans can cross the road. It's the kind of vibe we're looking at here. But you get those signs on the country lanes that say dead, slow children. And I always think that's a bit harsh. I'm sure they're trying their best, you know. If you're going to be that mean, why not just have a sign that says, the children in this town are fucking idiots. Hit them at 30, and there's an 80% chance you'll knock some bloody sense into them. But yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Still, I forgot my act. I'm not going to lie to you. This is my 7th time. Wait. Just talk amongst yourselves for the next bit. But I should warn you all, I've actually got a heart condition. So I've got a heart murmur, and sometimes out of nowhere it will just start beating very fast and very hard for no reason. So properly kind of worrying. I can slow it back down though by laying down and raising my legs in the air. So hopefully it won't happen tonight. But if it does, yeah, it might kind of ruin my observational comedy. But hopefully it won't happen, so we'll be fine. Moving on, this next joke some of you might not like, but I'm a big fan. Yeah. Isn't it annoying when... Oh, shit. Yes, the old... Ed, sorry. Would you mind coming up and helping me out? My heart's going off, mate. It's a bit awkward. Sorry, I did warn you all that this might happen, but give it up for Ed, everyone. Big up. I'm really sorry, everyone. Sorry, it's just the heart's going off, mate. So if you just hold my ankles just nice and high, mate. Okay, observational comedy time. I don't know if this is going to work now. I'm really sorry. Okay. Don't you hate it when people stand in a queue like this? Don't you hate it when on sports day, the dads take the wheelbarrow race way too seriously? Went to my doctor recently. Rectal examinations aren't quite as discreet as they used to be, are they? But I do think it's nice how men are becoming a lot more comfortable with their feet fetish these days. And, you know, good for you. Don't you hate it when just before a comedy gig, you tread in dog shit outside? Oh, you know what? No, yeah, it's all good. It's back to normal now, Ed. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, all good. Give it up for Ed, everyone. Thank you, mate. That could have been awkward. That's nearly my time, everyone, but I'll leave you with this. Moo! That's my time. I've been Travis Booth-Millard. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Travis. Woo! So I reached out to Travis. I saw his 3rd show he'd ever done, and I was like, that's a really good show. I want you on my set. And he said to me, like, I've got some material. I'm still working up to it. I've got about 7 minutes. And he promised 7 good minutes, and he did 7 good minutes. I've been promised a lot more and delivered a lot less in the past. by men. So a couple of other little bits of housekeeping before we get your final act of this section on. We're being filmed this evening. So we've got a little audience on, I don't know, little, big, don't know, some audience online. And I'm doing my full 40-minute set later. And this is the first time I'm filming it. So I would like extra loud laughs, please. This is either going to go as my kind of portfolio piece to show people I can do it, or it's going to be something I watch and cry at home. As a little trigger warning for my set later, just so that I know I've said it and I don't have to ruin the video with it, but I know you've been warned, I will be talking about mental health. I will be taking a little deep dive into some challenging mental health moments, but it'll be funny, so that's okay, isn't it? So your final act of this part, I'd like to introduce Natalie Bryce.
Thank you very much. You having a good night so far? Excellent. My name is Natalie Bryce, but I'm Scottish, but I moved down to the south coast last year. I'm one of you guys now. I actually, people ask me, thank you very much, very welcoming. People ask me, if I miss Scotland, if I miss the motherland. But I realised I've actually done the most Scottish thing ever, because when I was driving down, I've moved to Portsmouth, right? When I was put Portsmouth in my sat-nav, I realised I've actually moved from home exactly 500 miles. Do you know what? If I don't like it, I can always move 500 more. I'm from this little retirement town on the west coast of Scotland called Largs. Does anyone know it? You do? Have you been? No. You just know it? No. What do you know it for? Vikings or ice cream? No. Or me?
It's where you go for a beach when you're live in Glasgow, isn't it?
It is, but I don't do that anymore now that I live down here, because it does not compare, I can assure you. Absolutely. Well, it's a retirement town, so it's got like an ageing population, so it's a bit of a weird place to grow up. I used to bring my friends down from Glasgow at the weekends, and I always remember one of my friends said to me, "Oh, Natalie, I'm not a big fan of Largs because it's really quite rowdy." And I said, "What do you mean by rowdy?" She said, "All these boy racers zooming about the place." I said, "That's not boy racers, that's pensioners driving in first gear." Really weird place. They've got this volunteer place as well called the OIR, which stands for Opportunities in Retirement. It's great. They put on an activity every single week for the retired population. Fantastic. Last time I was home, I walked past the OIR, and in the window, they've got a poster for the activity for that week. And for that week, it was a guided tour of the brand new crematorium. And do you know what? It was sold out. Now that I moved down to Portsmouth, one of the biggest things I always do in Irish cities and Scottish cities to get to know them is that I go on a ghost walk. So I decided to go on the Portsmouth Ghost Walk. Has anyone ever been on this? You have? You don't run the Portsmouth Ghost Walk, do you? Thank God. What did you think of it?
I kicked someone in the face and gave him a nosebleed by accident.
My story's really shit now. How'd you do that by accident?
They were on the floor and they were actors and no one told me. They grabbed my ankle.
Fair play. Do you know what I mean? Well, do you know what? I kind of wish I'd done that now. It was the worst ghost walk I've ever been on. That would have made it so much better. It was really weird. It was these three guys that actors is a strong word, I think. They just weren't really fussed about it at all. I wanted to find out some historic stories and things like that, and this is how it went, genuinely. They were like, "Welcome to the Portsmouth Ghost Walk. Tonight you are going to hear stories you wish you hadn't." That bit was true. "Welcome to our first destination. In this house, a woman died." On to our second destination. It literally just continued like that, the whole night. The whole night it did. And I was like, "Why are we not seeing any ghosts?" And do you know what they said to me? They said, "Well, they're probably asleep." Well, why are we not doing a ghost walk at a more sociable hour then? That's what I want to know. The most amusing bit about that was that we were standing outside someone's house. I thought no woman lived in it, but some old guy just opened the door and went, "Oi, 3 knobs and clocks. I told you, I'm pale, not dead." And so we didn't get our money back because apparently we saw a ghost. But yeah, do you know, I love living down here. I absolutely love it. And one of the biggest things I love is actually live by myself now, which is a big luxury. I'd never lived by myself before. I was very fortunate during the pandemic to be able to go back and live with my parents. I was also fortunate to be able to work from home because a lot of people didn't and they were furloughed and everything like that. But it did mean that my mum just doesn't understand what working from home is. And she would just walk into the back of like my work Zoom calls at any moment. And she'd just say something like, Natalie, have you got any pants for the wash? Oh, sorry, you're on a call. Is that your boss? He looks nice. Not nearly as annoying as you said he looked. Right, won't cause you any more bother. I'll get out your hair. We're going to have spag bol for tea. You just let me know about those pants, all right? It was absolutely mortifying. I had to deliver these equality and diversity workshops, right? That's my job. And I was in the middle of delivering one of my equality and diversity workshops when my mum walks in the back with a whole load of towels and says, oh, you know me, just keeping all the whites separate. Absolutely mortifying. I'd never been at home during like normal working hours before as well, so it was weird to be home like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And I had like people turn up at my door I wasn't expecting. I had a fundraiser turn up at my door. It was a young guy in his early 20s, and I knew that he was a fundraiser because he had a script and he looked dead behind the eyes. I opened the door and he looked me up and down, and the first thing he said to me was, is your mummy or daddy in? And I thought, are you taking the piss? I'm clearly older than you. I really wanted to say to him, I am the daddy. But I knew I'd be stuck there, so I just said, Mummy's at work, can't talk to strangers, bye. I don't really like bumping into fundraisers as well because I'm a bit awkward and I can't say no. So I couldn't just have a nice conversation with one in the street and say, love your cause, that was a great chat we just had for the last hour and a half. I just can't afford a direct debit at the moment. Enjoy the rest of your day. I always end up in a bit of a heated debate and shout something inappropriate, like, no, I do not want to save the children. But I sit and chat to them because I used to be a fundraiser, so I have a big soft spot for them, but not the ones in the streets, but the worst ones in the call centres. I would be calling people up. I know, I'm sorry if I phoned you. They're honestly the worst. I hated that job so much, right? Because I had to basically phone people up and ask for monthly donations, so to get them to give regularly. And the biggest thing I didn't like was actually my job title. It got me in quite a lot of bother. I don't know whether my boss just didn't understand innuendos or whether she called me this for a laugh, right? But my job title for 2 whole years was the regular giving officer. And I had to go about the place saying, hello, my name's Natalie, I'm the regular giving officer. They even gave me 500 business cards to get started. Now, there is no way I'm giving them out. Unless I'm on a night out. I like to see yourself getting, promoted at some point in the next few years as well. There was only one role above the regular giving officer, and that was the giving head. And I'm just not going there Monday to Friday. I have had some weird jobs in my time as well. I'm quite tall, so I used to work as a children's mascot, which I absolutely loved. So at the weekends, I'd just get paid to dress up as Peppa Pig. One time, I was dressed as Peppa Pig, and my job was literally just to stand there, and children would come up and get their photos taken with me. But there was this one little girl, it was her birthday, she did not want her photo taken with me at all. She looked very suspicious of me. But her mum was shoving her up, she obviously wanted this photo. And the little girl looked me dead in the eyes as I'm standing in this big pink pig foam suit. And she says, listen, chubby cheeks. If I find out you're not a real pig, I'm bringing you down. And I had no idea how to react because I was at work and I've got to be professional. So I just leaned in and I said, me not being a real pig is the least of your worries when they're not your real parents. Still got the photo on my fridge, she didn't want it. Take the trophies when you can. I traumatised quite a lot of children in that role, actually. I dressed up as Minion, a Minion from Despicable Me as well. I loved that costume because it was very different to Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig was very claustrophobic. You got zipped right into it. Someone had to get you out of it. I didn't like it. But the Minion costume was just yellow trousers and a big overall, so I could see the floor, which I thought was fantastic. It had lots of movement, but I didn't really see the flaw in this plan, right? And there was this little boy, it was his birthday, he was 5 years old, he loved Minions, 2 bits. And I didn't see him, he was following behind me, playing tag with me the whole time. I had no idea as I was waddling about, looking like a Minion. And he grabbed the bottom of my mascot outfit and he was tugging, and I didn't feel it till right at the very end, just as he pulled it, and he put his head under, and he just looked up, and he sees me looking down at him. And I saw the disappointment wave across his face as he realised I was not a real Minion. I was just a really tall Scottish woman in a suit. I didn't want to ruin the magic. It was actually his birthday as well. So the only thing, I had a split second to think about what I was going to say to him to save this. And the only thing I could think of was, a minion has eaten me. Save yourself, young man, save yourself. There's still time for you. He ran off, but he did come back a few minutes later with 3 ham sandwiches. Very sweet. When I was living at home, I spent a lot of time with my mum, and my mum would always just leave her phone around. And one time I saw a notification go off on my mum's phone, and it was of Tinder. My mum was on Tinder, and I was like, I confronted her because she's still married to my dad. She told me it was only for research. Nothing wrong with having a little nosy, Natalie. I said, well, why are you using my face as your Tinder profile picture? My mum's literally catfishing me. Do you know what she said? She said, well, Natalie, it's not like I'm actually trying to attract a man. I know. What a bitch. My mum thinks Tinder's like Amazon. You can just click and collect and order a man right to your doorstep. I know Tinder's nothing like Amazon, because no man I've ever had on my doorstep has ever been in their prime. My gran's got this she's got this curiosity as well. She was always asking when, like, am I in a relationship, all the time, every single time I phone her. And I remember I was doing the Edinburgh Fringe last year, and I phoned my gran just as I was getting on a bus to head up to the centre of Edinburgh. And the bus driver asked me what kind of ticket I wanted. I said a single. My gran thought someone was asking me out, and she shouts down the phone, right, Natalie, get in there, yes! I said, thank Christ I didn't ask for an all-day ride. One of the biggest reasons why I've moved down here is I've got a new girlfriend, and thank you. And she looks very different to me. She's got long black hair. She's got 2 nose rings. She's got these stretches in her ear. She always wears like Doc Martens. She looks a bit like she'd bully me at school. When we go for lunch and she pays, I'm like, wait a minute, you're giving me lunch money? That's not how this works. If we walk down the street, we look a bit like Morticia and Dora the Explorer. But it just works. I'm glad I'm not dating anymore. I loved dating. I absolutely loved it. I love meeting new people. But she told me something that gave me quite a shock. Like, she told me I was not giving off the first impression I thought I was. Well, what do you mean? I think I'm very friendly, very open-minded. And I know she's not talking rubbish because it's been backed up by several other people. She said that on first impression, I come across a little bit like a homophobic married mum of 3. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Every time I've ever been in any gay clubs, I'm like dancing, I think I'm with my people. They all think I'm doing a volunteer community outreach project. I couldn't believe it, like I'm running for local council. And I'm just in the LGBT bar beforehand going, love the gays. Get your photo with me, put it on your Instagram. Love them. That's why I did that bit tonight, just to make sure that everyone knows. I'm here because I'm not friend, and that's friend, not because I'm volunteering in any way. I find it, most of my friends are like heterosexual women, and I find it quite hard to talk to them because the bar is just very different, and I find it very hard to speak to my friends. You have a very knowing look. You're like, yes, I know this.
There's no such thing as het women.
I'm not going to discuss it on this platform, but... I find it very hard. Okay, I'll rephrase that. My friends that are going out with cisgendered men. This is how, yeah, roll of the eyes, okay. It's very hard to chat to them because I just feel like the bar is like very different. Like they will like praise their boyfriends for not doing bad things rather than for like doing good things. And I find it really strange. Like I can't have like a normal like conversation with them. Like my boyfriend, he didn't forget my birthday. He didn't forget, he didn't. Oh, he didn't forget. And do you know what? He got me perfume. I mean, it was aftershave. But it's a thought that counts. Do you know what I mean? He got me flowers. Yes, they were lilies, and I have a cat, and I spent it in 24-hour animal A&E, but it's a thought that counts. And I'm like, oh my God, he didn't kill your cat. That's so nice. Husband material. That's fantastic. And I feel like I can't just come back with like what I want to say, which is like, I like pasta Greg's the other day, and I said, you know what, I quite like pastries. The next day, found my girlfriend doing an online free future learn course about how to make croissants from scratch. She's bought all of the ingredients, and she's planning a trip to Paris so that I can have authentic pastries next year. That's what I want to say, but I'm just like, she bought me a bottle of water. Oh, yeah, she did. She really did. I feel like I can't. And if I'd known this, like, way back when I was a wee girl, like, if I'd known the bar was different, because it takes me back to, like, Girl Scout camp. And I remember I went to Girl Scout camp, and the Boy Scouts were in the field next door, and they would always come up to the bar and they'd taunt us because they had so many more badges than us. And I was like, do you know what? They do. The bastards. How do they have so many more badges? And I had like 3 badges. I had like, I learned an instrument, I did community work, not community outreach work, and and I did a cookery course. And I was like, very proud of my wee badges. And they had like, I've got 10 badges, Natalie. I'm like, fuck. And I wish now, if I'd known now what I know, no, if I'd known then what I know now, I'd say like, come here, let me see your badges. Because they probably said stuff like, did not shit the bed. Did not leave the house naked this morning. And I'd be like, oh, that's lovely. I really felt a lot better about the whole situation. I'm just going to finish up on one more thing because I'm almost out of time. I spent a lot of time with my gran over the pandemic, and we watched the Wonder Woman film that came out most recently, and we had a good conversation about why there are not more positive, strong female role models on stage and in films and things like that. And I think I've cracked it. I think I've figured out that language is the problem. And language is the reason why young girls do not grow up to be Wonder Women themselves, because male leads in films, they're called heroes, lovely Cadbury chocolates that you give to your children. But females, heroines. Class A life-destroying addictive drugs. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is, but ladies, we are definitely worth more on the streets. Not all heroines wear capes, but some do carry spoons, girls. Thank you very much. I've been Natalie Bryce. Good night.
Have you all enjoyed the first half? Can we have a big cheer for all the acts who have gone so far? And now is your moment to grab a cigarette, buy something from the bar, whatever you need to do, get outside in the cold air, whatever it is, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Thank you very much.
passion through a wraparound bend. Another fiction about to end. Another heel I've got to mend. What's the deal? What's the deal?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Did you just have a good break? Fantastic. We've just switched Natalie's and hoping that you wouldn't notice. I'm just going to do a couple of minutes and then we're going to get your Woman of the Hour up on stage. How very exciting. Are you looking forward to seeing Nat? Fantastic. I was like the own brand Nat just before we get the real deal up. I'll just tell you one thing before I get started. So I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up, and I think having I had confidence to like speak to people, but not necessarily like in my appearance. And rewatching a lot of movies from like the noughties and 90s, I realised it's because I am that ugly girl movie trope in like all the movies. Watching back, like all of the ugly loner girl is always like brown curly hair and glasses. And then during those movies, what happens is they get befriended, and then there's a big montage, and they come into school the next day, and all the girls and boys are like, oh my God, who is that? I want them to be my girlfriend. I want them to be my friend. But all they've ever done is just take their glasses off. I just think it's very unfair. Like glasses for men are very sexy, or they're very like just non-important in a story. Like in Harry Potter, for example, like he's a baby. His parents dies. Sorry, that was a spoiler. He goes to school. He's got glasses. He looks like the male version of me. And within the first half hour of the movie, a girl literally repairs his glasses. And that's how unimportant it is. And then what happens is he goes through school. Everyone wants to be his boyfriend, and everyone wants to be, his friend. And then he defeats the Dark Wizard of all time, and everyone goes home happy. But if that had been Harriet Potter, as a baby, her parents would have died, unfortunately. She'd have got to school, she looked very like me, and she'd have been wandering about. And the first thing somebody probably would have said is, look, I know your parents died, but, like, would you just smile? It was a few years ago, do you know what I mean, Harriet? A few years pass, it's like, right, okay, you're either got pain in your scar or you've got cramps, but you've not got both of them, Harriet, right? When is this going to end? Just nobody seems to like notice girls with glasses. For some reason, they go unnoticed in films until they take their glasses off. And I find that really odd. Like that's what their like depiction of beauty is in all of these films. So when like Harriet got to like the end of school and she defeated Voldemort, the greatest dark wizard of all time, and she goes into the Great Hall and she says, "Guys, I've killed Voldemort. You can all go home happy. Your friends, your family, they're safe." Hello? Hello? Killed Voldemort, guys. Right, all right, okay. Thank you all, you bunch of bastards. What do you mean, who am I? I've been beside you for 7 years. Yes, I'll go out with you. Have you all had a good night so far? Excellent, fantastic. How many here are here specifically to see Nat? Fantastic. We're going to have a really nice, warm crowd. I just want to tell you as well, Nat asked me to tell you that the bar is going to be open after the show as well, so please do hang about and chat and have some drinks. We're going to have an absolutely amazing time. So I'd love if everyone would clap and cheer and stamp their feet and welcome to the stage the wonderful Nat Carey.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Can I have a cheer from the guys in the room? And a cheer from the women? Cheer from the guys. Cheer from the women. If you ever want proof that guys isn't gender neutral, there it is. Now, tonight I am going for a personal best. So I know you're all respecters of the arts. You will have turned off your phones and stuff, but I want you to get your phone out, and I want you to set an alarm with me. Get it so it rings nice and loud when it goes off. So we're all going to set an alarm for my personal best. Today I'm going for, I was going to say 20 minutes. I want to push myself. 22 minutes. Okay? So personal best. If you can all get your timers ready for 22 minutes. Can I have a thumbs up when someone's got 22 minutes? Oh, we're quick today. We're quick today. I like it, okay? Few more coming in. Okay, we'll start them all together in 5. Oh, sorry, okay. Do you need more? Okay. It's all right. We got some time. It's fine. Okay, sorry. So we're all going to start them at the same time, so they all go off at the same time, and if I make it to my personal best, we can have a little celebration. Does that work for you? Yeah? Okay, cool. So we're all ready to start. 3, 2, 1, go. Excellent. So in this set, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life. I am a bisexual, polyamorous woman. Now, what that means, bisexual means that I'll date men, women, non-binary people. I don't mind. I'm not fussy in that way. Polyamorous means that I can be in a relationship and start another relationship. So tonight, if you ask me out and I turn you down, it's personal. I'm also a transgender woman. Now, what that means, when I was born, they said it's a boy. And if you ask me now, I tell you I'm a woman. I'm in the process of getting my birth certificate changed. They're going to change the M to an F. They're going to change my original name to Natalie. Absolutely wonderful. But they refuse to change the fact I was born in Croydon. Apparently, I'm stuck with that for life. What else about me? I dabble in communism. Any other dabbling communists here? Like, I'm communist enough to own a copy of the Communist Manifesto, but shit enough at it that I bought it on Amazon. Tonight's show, thank you all for buying tickets. If you haven't bought a ticket and you feel like you should have bought a ticket, then you can come and be honest at the end. The thing that your ticket pays for is all the comedians who are on tonight, but also the bra that I'm wearing. Because I only wear a bra if I'm getting paid. So be glad you paid for your tickets. The view from the front row could have been quite different. Now, I try and be quite equal in the way that I handle money and things like that. So tonight's act, I basically said what we'll do, we'll take all the takings, we'll divide it up by the minutes we're all scheduled to be on stage, and we'll have an equal split of it, which felt quite fair to me until one act dropped out and it turned into the Squid Game. All the other comedians were like, who can we get rid of next? The more who go, the more money we get. I'm also a parent. I'm a parent to a wonderful 8-year-old. My 8-year-old's absolutely awesome. I try and be progressive as a parent. I try and accept my 8-year-old, whoever they are, whoever they grow up to be. But I worry that if they ever have to come out to me, it can be difficult. I know coming out to a parent is difficult because I've done it lots of times. I worry that one day they come home from school and they go, Natalie, Mummy, today I kissed James, and I didn't really like kissing James. And then I kissed Rosie, and I really liked kissing Rosie, and I think I might be straight. It's all right, son, I went through a similar phase at your age. I grew out of it, and you might too. But if not, I'm not coming to your wedding. Now, my little one is awesome. He's got that cuteness that lets him get away with everything. He used to love drinking his bathwater when he was a baby. And it's a weird thing. And like, one time he did it so sneakily, and I spotted him. I'm like, Fenton, what the fuck are you doing? I didn't say this to us. I'm like, Fenton, what are you doing? Don't drink your bathwater. And he just looked at me with these cute eyes and went, it's my favorite thing. And he learned at that moment that he can get away with things like that. And I'm worried that like when he's a bit older, I'll go into his room, Fenton, what's all this cocaine? It's my favorite thing. But no, I try and be authentic as a parent. I try not to set any rules I wouldn't follow myself, but I did find myself shouting the other day. We were in the playground. He was playing with his friends. I was chatting with the adults, and I saw him out the corner of my eye. I saw him hit one of his friends. Fenton! I was so mad he used my man voice. Fenton, don't hit your friends. And I thought for a moment. Without consent. Because I don't want to set any rules I wouldn't follow myself. My little one, when I started exploring my gender, he started exploring his too. He started asking for she, her pronouns, and she was awesome. She chose her own name. She changed her clothes slightly. She didn't buy into the whole pink thing, but she was just her. She was just beautiful. I sat her down one day. I said, look, I'm proud of the girl that you are. I'm proud of the woman you're growing up to be, and I want to do anything I can to prepare you for life as a woman in this world. So from now on, I'm going to cut your pocket money by 17%. Now, I told that joke at work one time, and there was this guy I work with who said the gender pay gap doesn't exist, which was interesting coming from a man. Now, I try and be scientific. I try and have a malleable perspective. I try and understand people's perspective. So I said to him, look, what's your evidence? And he said, me and my wife started in the same industry on the same salary, and years later, we're still in the same industry on the same salary. I said, wow, your wife's better than you. Now, my parents, let me tell you a little bit about my parents. My parents are fundamentalist evangelical Christians, and I am a disappointment. I was trying to think about how I can rebuild this broken relationship I have with my parents, and I thought if I can follow some of the advice they gave me when I was younger, then maybe it will show them that I was listening, I respect their opinion, and I'm still the same person they brought up. I thought that would be a really good way of mending this barrier. And I thought about all the advice that my parents gave me. My dad would always say, find a hobby and turn it into a job. Have you heard that one? Find a hobby and turn it into a job. And so I thought it was weird at the time because he was a bank manager. I'm never sure when his hobby was turning his friends down for loans, but everyone's got to have a hobby. So I thought, if I can do this, maybe I'll make my dad proud. Find a hobby and turn it into a job. I can make my dad proud. Find a hobby and turn it into a job. And that is why I do sex work. And he's still not proud. Fun thing about being trans and a sex worker is that sometimes you have to use labels for yourself that you wouldn't normally use in general conversation. Like the word tranny still appears quite a lot in that industry. And I don't like that word. I don't like that word being associated with me. I don't like hearing it. I definitely don't like being described as it. But if I'm getting paid, I guess I can compromise. It solved a problem for me because now if someone shouts tranny at me across the street, I just send them an invoice. Who here is in therapy? Woo! Excellent, excellent. My therapist is really down on me. She just doesn't get me. I told her about my creative problem solving. She called it suicidal ideation. For a few months last year, I was very much looking for an ending, and I found that the things I was doing at the time, everyone around me found hilarious, and I couldn't see it at the time. But looking back at it now, I can see how funny it was. I was on the day that I had as my first attempt. I was looking around the house, thinking, how are people going to find my house when they're clearing it out? And I was going around the kitchen, and I thought, what can I do that will lighten up someone's day? So I baked a cake. And I thought that was a perfectly normal thing to do. Just like, oh no, we got to give away all this stuff, and but there's a cake. And I told that I spent a lot of time on the phone to Samaritans, 123 116, or is it 116 123? 116 123. If you ever need the number, very, very good people to speak to. I spent lots of hours on the phone to them, and one of the people I spoke to, I told them about the cake. They're like, you clearly don't value yourself very highly if you think your friends want cake more than they want you. Like, no, you don't get it. That's not the scenario. The scenario is, I'm not here anymore, and there's no cake. Or I'm not here anymore, and there is cake. Because I then started asking my friends whether that was a good thing to do or not, and I found that my friends are split in half. One person said I'd ruin cake forever, which I thought was a bit strong. One friend desperately wanted a cake. And so I did have a second attempt, and on that day, I baked a cake for that one friend, and I left a note on it saying, "Dear Jen, I'm sorry for your loss." I think this was from about August to November last year, and it's the only year I've ever done my Christmas shopping early. I got an aw, thank you. It changed my parenting a little bit. Like, who here's a parent? Cool. Okay. So I had a week with my son, and I thought that was the last time I was going to see him. And I had this really special, beautiful week with him, making moments. And do you know when your kids come to you and they go, "Oh, can I have that thing?" And it's really expensive, and you know they won't play with it, and you just go, "No, not now." Not, did you do that? Yeah, I've got a knowing nod from over there. So yeah, great solution. What I thought was my last week with him, he asked for this thing. Classic, a computer game. He's not going to play it. It's 50 quid. Not this week. Anyway, let's get out of that territory. So I do have a big announcement. I have moved on with my life from that time, and I have something to celebrate with you. So I would like a volunteer from the audience, preferably someone who doesn't know me. Can I have a volunteer? Ooh, thank you. Do you want to come on up? I think you're going to have to stand this side because of the cable length. What's your name?
Peter.
Peter, good to meet you, Peter. You enjoying the show?
Yeah, it's great.
Excellent, excellent. I like to do this section of the show like a magic trick. Is that all right?
Okay.
Excellent. Right. We haven't met before tonight. Is that right?
That's right.
That's right. Now, you haven't seen this box before?
Never.
Excellent. Could you tell everyone what's on the front of it, please?
Monday Moon, a baby moment card, the Natural Collection, a set of 42 cards.
There we go. So baby moment cards. What moment do you think I might be celebrating? Any guesses? No guesses. Baby moment cards. Any guesses? First steps. Very close. It does have a first steps thing in here, but I'm not using it to celebrate having a baby. Oh, first steps in heels. That was a little while ago, honey. So what I am celebrating tonight is some surgery that I had recently. So for those wondering what kind of surgery I had, I walked into the hospital with £15,000 and a penis. And I walked out with neither. And let me tell you, my thongs fit better. Okay, so can you open it up and have a look at that first card and tell everyone what it is, please? I always like watching a man struggle with a box. So sorry. Oh, oh my goodness. I wish I could have watched a man struggling with a box. Thank you for correcting me. I should have seen the sticker. Okay, so what's the first card say there?
Today I am 4 months old.
Today I'm 4 months old. So maybe, should we tip these out? Do you want to hold your hand out? Yeah, there you go. Let's get rid of the box. Let's get rid of the box. So today I'm 4 months old. Now there are photos. The other. That's all right.
Get rid of the box.
Okay. Brilliant. I love it. I love it. Thank you. So basically, there are photos floating around with my friends of me like this. One version with clothes on. One version without. But you've got to celebrate these moments, haven't you? So what's the next card there? Was it Peter?
Yeah.
Peter, what's the next card?
My first Halloween.
My first Halloween. So I'm going to dress her up nice, take some photos. Now, fun story about Halloween before we move on. Halloween was the first time I went out dressed femme, like dressed in a skirt. And I decided it was a safe time to do it because everyone's dressing up and I'd kind of feel more comfortable. Except I was going out with a friend and she said, you can't just dress as a woman. You've got to dress as something everyone finds scary. So I dressed as a strong, independent woman. Okay, so my first Halloween's done. What's up next?
Today I had my first haircut.
Fun story about this one. I haven't yet told my waxer that I had surgery. Now, my argument with these cards is that these are funnier and better suited to my surgery than they are to having a baby. And I hope that as we go through, you'll see what I mean. Thank you.
Today I had solid food for the first time.
So I haven't gathered you all here specifically to look for volunteers. But you know where to find me. Okay, what's up next? Thank you.
Today I sat up for the first time.
So yeah, start with missionary, and that one day I'll set up for the first time. Very exciting. As I get more adventurous, though, what's the next card?
Today I stood up for the first time.
Looking forward to that one. Well, what's up next?
Today, I said Dada for the first time.
See, in some venues, I have to explain that saying Dada for the first time is going to be a kink thing, but not in this venue. Thank you. This one, my friends, when they saw the cards and I was selecting them, they all told me I was too late for this because I only bought the cards after I got home from hospital. What's it say?
Today, I came home for the first time.
So I'm just going to cross out the word home. And most important, after that, what's up next?
Thank you.
You got to say thank you. Thank you so much, Peter. Really appreciate it. Cool. Now, surgery was a whole experience. I went for a couple of consultations before surgery. I turned up at this hospital. I didn't know if I was in the right place or not. And then I saw someone leaving the hospital with like 4 bags and walking like this. And I knew I was in the right place. My surgeon, I had a consultation with my surgeon recently. He had a look at my new anatomy. He said he gives himself 9 out of 10. I'm quite happy with it. And I did have to bring something awkward up in the consultation. Like, when you're talking about bodies and stuff, there's always going to be awkward moments. But I said to him, look, I've been on hormones for a long time now. I've had my surgery. I was told that my body would be pretty much the same as every other woman, but I still fart. When's that going to stop? And he had to break the news to me that women fart. I'm like, why did no one tell me? But what no one warned me about before surgery was those farts that roll up the front. That one always gets a higher pitched laugh than the rest of them. Oh dear. Fun thing about surgery, you know when you get your ear pierced and you have to like leave something in there so the hole doesn't close up? It's the same. It's the same for me. It's the same for me, except I can't leave it in the whole time. To start with, 3 times a day I had to dilate. So what that means is basically I get something that looks a bit like a dildo, and I put it there for 20 minutes. Now, this is not comfortable. It's not like the sort of thing that you would choose to buy in a sex shop. It's hard plastic, it's long, and it's pokey. You know when, like, have you ever cleaned out a bottle with one of those things, and you have to get right to the bottom of it? That's kind of the technique we're looking at. It's not the sort of thing people do for fun. But I went to a festival, and I was meant to be dilating 3 times a day, but I forgot my dilators. So I'm looking for 3 willing volunteers a day. I went to Berlin on a family holiday, forgot my dilators, and went to the supermarket and bought an appropriately shaped carrot. Have a little dilate, have a little snack. Oh dear. For those who haven't figured me out yet, let me give you a joke that introduces you to the kind of person I am. This is the only kind of formulaic primary school playground style joke of the set. A Christian, a witch, and a Satanist went to a sex party. Must be my birthday. But no, I did have 3 sex parties. Oh, no, I've had 2 of them. I had the other one planned for celebrating my surgery. First of all, there was a goodbye penis party. The description on the event said, I'm not saying it's your last chance. But it's kind of your last chance. The next one was a pussy preview, where she'd healed up nicely enough to be available for show, but not for functional use. And I'm building up to opening night, where a friend who might have just walked into the room has volunteered very willingly to cut the ribbon. You eat that banana, Sarah. You eat that banana. What was I gonna say? Oh, my dad. Okay, my parents, as I said, they don't get me. They don't like all the things about me that make me so happy. I had a very awkward conversation. My dad's had a family meeting, and he said, "Look, Natalie," he didn't use the word Natalie. Of course he didn't. He said, look, Natalie, I know you're going to have this surgery. I know there's nothing I can say to talk you out of it, but I need you to know that I find the idea of you having this surgery abhorrent. Whoa. I said, Dad, it's all right. I won't show you. Now, I wish I'd thought a moment longer before I gave that response, because you know when you say something and then something else pops into your mind, you're like, that was better. That was better. It's all right, Dad. I'll still let my boyfriend fuck me up the arse. Now, I had a warning around my surgery. I'm a smoker. I tried to quit so many times before surgery, and the surgeon was really good. He was basically like, there are risks that come with being a smoker, and you're better off not smoking, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. Like, listen to the concerns, make your own decision. He warned me about blood clots. He warned me about all sorts of things like that. The warning that really stuck with me, though, is that I have 3 skin grafts on that area. Labia majora, and clitoris. Skin grafts are more likely to fail if you're a smoker. And there is a chance that your clit will fall off. So, don't smoke or your clit will fall off. That's quite an appealing one, isn't it? Still didn't make me quit, though. I don't know, like, I don't like it when people say I'm not really a woman, I've had all this history as a man, but I still can't find my own clit. Those people, we'll talk about them. Those people who think that I shouldn't be living as a woman, or I shouldn't have some of the privileges of living as a woman. Yeah, privileges of being a woman. I shouldn't have a comfortable life as a woman. They think things like, I shouldn't use the women's toilets. I think I should use the women's toilets unless the queue's too long. So how are we doing on those timers? Am I getting close to my personal best? Under 1 minute. What do I do for under 1 minute? Oh, I got a one-liner. Being a trans woman before surgery was a real pain in the arse. Now you got to laugh till the timers go off. No pressure. How long have we actually got? 35. Oh, it's that awkward amount of time, isn't it? Let me tell you. Oh, I hear a timer. Someone started early. Okay, we'll wait for them all. Can we have? Is it 10 seconds or something? Can we have a countdown? Why is time going so slowly?
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I made it. That is the longest. Thank you. That is the longest I've ever gone without telling anyone I'm vegan. It's good to have a personal best. Now we're going to set a new timer for CrossFit. Oh, shit. Now, people ask me why I went vegan. And, time is still going off. I made it. Did you put your phone away after setting the alarm? That's all right. That's okay. So people ask me why I went vegan. They assume I love the planet or I love the animals. I just fucking hate plants. Gotta kill them all. Also, there was always too much choice on the menu. You gotta do something to narrow it down. And also, it gives you something to talk about at parties. So I think you've got a bit of an idea about me. I want to tell you about some porn that I made. So basically, I was dating someone. They'd always want to do porn. I'd always want to do porn. So we started making some porn. Turns out not all your friends want to see your homemade porn. Who knew? I just don't understand, because when they have a baby, they're basically going, we had sex and made something beautiful. Do you want to see? And I was only doing the same thing. Now, before I had my surgery, I bought a kit from a sex shop called Clone a Willy. Have you come across these kits? You find a good penis and you want to clone it, take it home with you because it's not ethical to cut it off. So I bought one of these kits and made an accurate mold of myself. Now, how they do the surgery, basically they reuse the material they've got, they flip it inside out, and now I've got a dildo that fits perfectly. And a response when people say, "Go fuck yourself." I said I was going to forget a whole load of things, and I've done it. The other thing. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. See, I didn't even have to look at my notes. So I've learned various things about being a woman. The one I was just reminded of, I said I like thongs. The thing I learned is that you bend down, you pick something up, and you have to do that to get it out of your butt crack. Didn't realize that one at first. But that conversation about dresses. So I came out as a woman when I was about 30, 31. And I hadn't had the conversation about dresses, but I did know the script. That's a nice dress. Thanks, it was £15 from Tesco. Wow. And it has pockets. Yeah, you see? I knew that script, but I didn't know the nuance of it. I didn't know the rules of that conversation. Does anyone here know that that conversation has rules? Because they're ingrained, because you grew up with it, but I had to learn them. Basically, I went to a wedding, bought myself a nice designer dress, and I wanted to get value for money out of it. So I was wearing it for 3 weeks solid after the wedding. I was sitting in the park, drinking a milkshake in a designer dress. Someone comes up to me and goes, "That's a nice dress." And I go, "Yeah, it was £400. No one told me. You only say it if the dress was cheap. Now, I also haven't got other bits of etiquette. Apparently, friends don't just show each other their boobs all the time. Now, I think this might just be a difference between trans women and cis women, because when I go to a friend's house and they go, "Hey, what's new?" I go, "These are £500 each." Although I think righty took a bit more than lefty. But no, those kind of conversations, I wasn't used to having them. And I have had to learn, and I'm sorry, I am going to check my notes. I promised myself I wouldn't check my notes, but that clearly hasn't happened. That was what I was going to talk about. Hair removal. So there's the little pull. There we go. I've done quite a lot of hair removal. I am not the only woman in this room who has removed facial hair. Let's just get that one clear. There's one show where I didn't say that because there was only one other woman in the room. I could tell she was of an age where she probably had, but I didn't want to announce that in front of a group of strangers. But no, I've had laser hair removal on my face. I've had laser hair removal on my chest. I have a friend who epilates my hairy back. I go for waxing everywhere below the waist. And I went to my waxer for the 3rd time. By this point, she was quite comfortable with me. She'd seen everything. And you know when you go for a wax or a massage or something, and they say, "Look, I'm just going to leave the room. You get changed, put the towel over yourself, and let me know when you're ready." And they give you a towel that's never big enough. You know that? And so she, first 2 times she did that. 3rd time we were chatting, and we were just chatting about the kids and stuff. And I realized that she wasn't making that moment. And what do? It's like, I'm here for a wax. You're not leaving the room. I know I'm hairy. I know it's going to take a while. I don't want to waste all the time. And I decided that she was just comfortable enough with me. We'd had 2 sessions before. She'd seen everything. It would be fine. So as we were chatting about the kids, yeah, my kids are doing well. She started taking down my skirt. And she looked at me and she went, "Natalie, what are you doing? We're here for your eyebrows." So I had to go to a new waxer. Fun thing about dating men, women, non-binary people is pulling at a pub. And I generally go with people that sounds really like old school euphemistic. I generally, I'm into people who don't really care what my body's like, because I'd like to not be feeling judged or anything like that. I was chatting up with this guy in the pub. He said, "I'd like to take you home, but before I can, I need to know what your downstairs situation is. Do you have an innie or an outie?" And I didn't want to tell him. I wanted it to be a surprise for later. And so I said to him, "Look, one thing's for sure. If you take me home and we have sex, you're not going to find my clit." And he didn't. I'm going to look for one more thing on my list, and then I'm going to finish off. How about... Oh, no. Oh, no. No, I'm not going to look for one more thing. I'm going to tell you my final joke. I went to a friend's house a little bit after surgery, and they should have known me better. But I walked in the door, they said to me, "Hey, what's new?" Stupid question to ask straight after surgery. So I lifted up my skirt and I said, "This is..." Cost me 15k, but it's only got one pocket. I've been Natalie, Carey. You've been awesome. The bar's open for a while. Have a great time.